This HP desktop just came in the shop because every time you try to load up Windows, it freezes and then gives you a stopcode system license violation. And if you try to bypass the normal startup to get into recovery mode, you just end up with error code 0x00001. And all these recovery options send you back to this stopcode. So what's going on here? Well, typically when you see this stopcode right here, it's because your Windows operating system's corrupted beyond normal repair. This honestly didn't surprise me the second I saw this Intel sticker that says Intel Core i5 Plus. And if you're wondering what the plus means, because there's no suffix at the end of this Intel Core i5 8400, well, for Intel's 8th and 9th generation CPUs, they were using this naming scheme for systems that came with a mechanical hard drive along with what's called an Optane SSD, which is not your normal NVMe SSD, because even though it does technically have some onboard storage, these drives were incredibly small, typically 16 or 32 gigabytes, and were only designed to act as accelerators for your mechanical hard drive. See, these drives came out at a time when buying a large capacity SSD wasn't practical, as they were way more expensive than the mechanical counterpart. So in order to combat those high prices, Intel came up with their Optane memory technology that allowed you to turn any mechanical hard drive into a hybrid SSD. Basically what they were doing is they were using a small amount of storage on these Optane drives as a very fast cache for your mechanical drive. This, in combination with some intelligent software, allowed them to move your most used applications and files to the much faster drive while leaving the bulk of your data on your hard drive, giving you the benefit of the speeds of an SSD, but the affordability of a mechanical hard drive. Which was great in theory, especially for the price at the time, for the fact that when these SSDs eventually fail, and they do quite often, because this acceleration is a form of RAID, where both drives are dependent on each other, when one fails, they basically both fail. And as a lot of time the operating system files get moved over to these Optane drives, well, that's what causes these corruptions to take place, because your system can't access all the files it needs, which is what happened to pretty much every single system I've seen with one of these Optane drives. So many of these die. And that high failure rate might just be one of the reasons why Intel killed their Optane business 3 years ago. Like, these drives don't exist anymore. Combine that with the fact that SSDs have gotten cheap, the hybrid technology just didn't really make sense to continue. Our system back up and running, we're gonna put in a much faster new SSD dependent on a defunct technology. And even though we'll have that new SSD, we'll keep this old hard drive for storage, as that drive's not the issue. This way when we plug in our USB installation media, we can go ahead and turn the system on and reinstall Windows on that new SSD without any of the hybrid garbage. And thanks to our customer having a cloud backup of his entire machine, we can restore all of our customers' files just like they were once before. So with this HP desktop now back up and running and no longer dependent on a defunct technology, let's get this system back over to our customer.